So I ran across some really interesting news this weekend that Leatherman not only has filed patents for the Alpha, and I'll show those on the screen, but also they have filed for a tool they call the Epsilon. Now, this is really interesting because this new tool looks very different from some of the normal things that Leatherman carries on its tool. Essentially, it looks like a cross between a charge and a micra, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Now, the first thing I want to mention is the Leatherman Alpha. So I looked at the pictures that we have seen from the Leatherman Alpha. I will have one on the screen, and you can see that yes, the Leatherman Alpha does match up with what it has on the website about the patent. The Alpha is supposed to have needle nose pliers, regular pliers, wire cutters, hard wire cutters, all with an eyelet, wire stripper, lanyard ring, saw, scissors, screwdriver, bit driver, can opener, bottle opener, wood metal file, and diamond file. Now it has 2 bit drivers, but that probably is covered under bit driver. It doesn't specify how many because it has the mini and the large. One of the things that I didn't even realize is that this Decoyu model right here is actually almost exactly what Leatherman is offering with its brand new Leatherman Alpha. Now, this is a little bit of a different form factor. Some people, Decoyu claims that these pliers are actually superior to anything that Leatherman makes because the way they are produced. But this one has scissors, it has the saw, it has the knife, and then it has the file. On the other side is the ruler, but it has the file on this side. Now Leatherman will have the diamond file, so that's going to be different, but all these outside tools are the same as the Leatherman Alpha. And then there's the needle nose pliers, which these don't have so much of a needle nose pliers as much, I guess a little bit. And then the regular pliers. So yeah, I guess technically they are needle nose, and the Alpha will. Replaceable wire cutters. Over here rather, now Leatherman has a large flathead screwdriver where this is more of a combination tool. Then there's the bit driver, the all with the eyelet, and then the can opener. The wire stripper is on this tool where Leatherman puts it on this tool. And then the only tool missing that this isn't like the Alpha is the micro driver. That is a little different, that this tool set is actually the same, very close to the same as what the Alpha will be. So in reality, we don't have hardly any information on the Epsilon. There's no leaked pictures that I know of. It's only this info at the moment. And who knows, it looks like it's probably real. But the serial number for both of these patents, the Alpha and the Epsilon, I think the Alpha is 99244-597, and then the Epsilon is 99244-606. And I'll probably just call it the Leatherman E to make it a little easier. Now, for the Leatherman E, it looks like, to some extent, as much as I can figure out, it might be a combination between all of these tools or something. Now, I got some info not too long ago that someone said, essentially Leatherman is making a glorified keychain tool with pliers. And I'm trying to reconcile that. Is that this Leatherman E? Because it does say it has the nail file, the nail pick, the pry tool, the bottle opener, ruler, toothpick, and tweezers. But it also says that it has needle nose pliers, regular pliers, wire cutters, hard wire cutters, all with eyelet, scissors, and a bit driver. So that's what's throwing me off. I'm not sure if it's a hybrid design of something like this, because this does have technically needle nose pliers, regular pliers, and it does have wire cutters. Doesn't say replaceable wire cutters, hard wire cutters, and then I'm not sure if this one has an awl. I don't think this has an awl, but you could put something like that. This one does have, actually this one does not. Oh yeah, it does. The Leap does have scissors, and it doesn't have a bit driver, but it does have a set of tweezers. So it almost makes me wonder if it will be almost like a skeletal with some extra features on it, almost like a 4-layer skeletal, I'm not really sure what it is, but it's really interesting trying to figure this out. We'll have a ruler, and then it has a toothpick. Essentially, it sounds like going to have a layer somewhere where you could stick a toothpick into it. So we'll have to see. With these implements like the nail file, the nail pick, the pry tool, bottle opener, ruler, and toothpick and tweezers, as outlined for the Leatherman E, I think the largest Leatherman that I can think of that has a set of tweezers was actually the Leatherman Leap. Can you think of another one? I can't off the top of my head. And especially the Leatherman Micra, we think about that with the tweezers and some of these nail tools. But usually, anytime they talk about a nail file or a nail pick, anything like that, it's a very small keychain tool. So perhaps there could also, maybe it's a design where Leatherman will have a larger tool like the skeletal, and then half the side of it will be like a removable Micra. I don't know. That would work, I guess. Because if you had something with a bit driver like the skeletal, and then you could have more of a fuller set of pliers, which would fill out the needle nose pliers, the regular pliers, hardwire cutters, and then you could have an awl maybe on the tool on the one side, a pair of scissors on the other, and then the bit driver. And then you could have essentially a donor tool that you could take off and use for the nail file, the nail pick, the pry tool, bottle opener. Well, that could even be the clip, I guess, the toothpick and the tweezers. So maybe they're trying to make a version where it will be a little bit modular. I don't know. I know with these series of tools, they did have different versions. I'll put it up on the screen where they actually had a clip tool with the juice, I believe it was, in the middle. And they both work together. So that's sort of what I'm thinking might be going on here. It might be Leatherman's attempt at a half modular system or two tools in one. But I don't know, we'll have to see. So I actually might be more interested in the Leatherman E rather than the Leatherman Alpha, because something new from Leatherman, I sort of like it when they go off script, like the Leatherman Tread and some of the other sort of off-the-wall tools that they have come up with. Usually Leatherman plays it safe, and with the Alpha, it's going to be nice, but it's not going to be that different than the Leatherman Charge, to be honest. It doesn't look like. So with the Epsilon, it looks like perhaps we're actually getting something different. Let me know what you guys think.